Welcome to another explainer. Today, we are taking a wildly entertaining journey into the quirky, super fast-paced, and honestly, sometimes hilarious world of automated translation. We're looking at the ultimate battleground of the screen, AI subtitles versus human translators. We've officially entered what industry insiders are calling the post-editing era. So settle in, because we're going to break down exactly how your favorite shows actually get translated, how machines are kind of taking over the heavy lifting, and why, despite all that processing power, they still desperately need our help. Let's start off with a question I know we've all asked ourselves at some point. Have you ever been watching a foreign show on Netflix, or maybe you're just scrolling through an auto-captioned video on TikTok, and you thought to yourself, who on earth actually talks like that? You read the text, you understand the words, but the phrasing is just, well, clunky, right? It feels totally mechanical, totally devoid of human emotion, and sometimes downright bizarre. It's this shared frustration we all has in the digital age, and today we're going to figure out exactly why that keeps happening. Section 1. The AI subtitling boom. Okay, let's dive into this tech stack. To really get the problem, we've got to look at the sheer massive scale of the audiovisual translation industry right now. Platforms need literally millions of hours of content translated instantly. So when you hit auto-translate, you're not just firing up one tool. You're triggering this crazy rapid-fire relay race between four major systems. First up, automatic speech recognition, or ASR, listens to the audio and spits out the source text. Second, machine translation engines instantly swap those words into the target language. Third, natural language processing swoops in to analyze the linguistic patterns. And finally, AI language models step up to try and smooth the whole thing out. All of this happens in just seconds, which is what allows for this massive global scale of content production. But, and this is a big but, here is where we hit a massive roadblock. As incredibly impressive as that four-part tech relay race is, speed absolutely does not guarantee quality. Sure, AI is lightning fast, and it is honestly great at pumping out a rough first draft. But while machines have totally mastered the speed of language, they consistently, almost predictably, struggle with the subtle nuances of how humans actually communicate. And the results? Well, they can be pretty entertaining to say the least. Which brings us to Section 2, When AI Sails, a Comedy of Errors. It's time for a little expectation versus reality, right? So one of the biggest, most common weaknesses of AI is its obsession with literal translation. For example, when a character says, "I'm feeling under the weather," you and I both know that just means "I'm sick." But because AI processes language statistically instead of actually interpreting it, it literally translates the phrase as if the person is physically located underneath the local climate. It entirely misses the idiom, and that creates a subtitle that just sounds totally weird, confusing, and completely unintentional in its comedy. Or, oh, take this one. A character gets mad and says, "That guy is such a pain in the neck." Instead of capturing the vibe that the guy is just extremely annoying, the machine goes straight to the dictionary. It mechanically translates the words to tell the viewer that the man is a literal, physical, medical ache in someone's cervical spine. There's no nuance. Machines prioritize dictionary definitions over how actual, living, breathing people speak to each other. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point: AI's absolute, total failure to understand context. Picture a scene where a character accidentally smashes something super expensive, and their friend just slowly claps and says, "Nice job." The AI completely assumes sincerity because the literal words look positive on paper, so it spits out a genuine, happy compliment. The machine is totally blind to situational context. It can't read sarcasm, it can't read anger. Taking words completely at face value just ruins the dramatic intent of the scene. Then we've got the issue of conversational authenticity. If someone frustratedly yells, "Come on, give me a break," the AI misses the mark completely and translates it as a request for an actual physical rest period. You see, grammatical accuracy simply isn't enough. Spoken dialogue is incredibly different from a textbook. Good subtitles have to capture that authentic, snappy, conversational tone of a real interaction, not just spit out a technically flawless sentence. Another huge flaw? Verbosity. AI systems are basically word hoarders. They desperately want to preserve every single little syllable from the original audio. So if a character nervously stammers, "Well, I was actually thinking that maybe we should probably leave now," the AI will print every single word of that out. The result? These massively long subtitles that literally take up half your screen, completely ruining the viewing experience and making you read at superhero speeds just to keep up. A human, on the other hand, just writes, "Let's leave now." And finally, we have segmentation. This is where the subtitle physically breaks across two lines on your screen. Poor segmentation will completely wreck your reading flow.
AI has this bad habit of slicing a sentence right down the middle, separating a verb from its object, or splitting a preposition from its noun. A human subtitler inherently knows how to divide lines based on natural syntax and semantic units. They preserve that natural reading rhythm, so your brain processes the info effortlessly without you even realizing it.
Section 3. The human advantage. Post-editing. So, if AI is making all these fundamental, weird errors, what's the actual fix? Well, the job of a modern translator has evolved into what we call post-editing, and their absolute superpower is a concept called condensation. You see, subtitling is fundamentally an art of limitation. You have super strict spatial limits for the screen size and strict temporal limits for how long the text can even stay up there. Viewers are multitasking. They have to read text, watch the action, and listen to the audio all at the exact same time. Condensation is this brilliant human skill of cutting out the repetition, dropping the filler words, and simplifying the syntax to keep the core meaning without overwhelming the viewer. Really good subtitling is about prioritizing communication over trying to get every single word on the screen.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the side-by-side contrast. Look at how fundamentally different the priorities are here. AI systems prioritize lexical accuracy, but human subtitlers prioritize audience readability. AI translates literally, humans condense strategically. AI processes statistically, while humans interpret contextually. It perfectly highlights how human interpretive judgment is totally focused on your overall viewing experience, while the machine, well, it's really just trying to solve a math problem.
Section 4. Post-editing workflow. Polishing AI drafts.
So how do humans actually fix that math problem in the real world? Here is the standard 6-step post-editing workflow that modern translators are using every day to transform those rough, robotic AI drafts into polished, culturally accurate subtitles. First, you read the AI subtitle super carefully to spot those awkward, literal translations we talked about. Second, you analyze the context, like what's the tone, the emotion, the visual action happening on the screen. Third, you rewrite for naturalness, making it actually sound like real spoken language. Fourth, you condense, stripping away all that extra fluff to save precious screen space. Fifth, you check the readability to make sure it fits the timing of the scene. And finally, step 6, you revise the segmentation so the sentence breaks across the screen naturally. It is this really cool, seamless blend of technical competence and sharp editorial skill. Section 5. Future of translation. What lies ahead? As we look out at the shifting landscape of audiovisual media, there's no denying the rise of AI subtitling is causing some massive shockwaves. There are really intense ethical and professional debates happening right now. The biggest one on everyone's mind: will AI outright replace human translators? Since post-editing is technically faster, should translators be accepting lower pay for this new type of workflow? And think about this: if an AI makes a massive cultural blunder, who is legally or ethically on the hook? The software developer, the network, or the post-editor who missed it? And fundamentally, should we as audiences just accept lower quality subtitles simply because they were produced at lightning speed? These are the really tough tensions defining the industry today. So the crucial point here is summarized perfectly by this quote from modern scholars. Translators who can collaborate effectively with AI technologies may become increasingly valuable in the future. You see, AI isn't an outright replacement, not at all. It's a powerful but deeply flawed tool. The future really belongs to those who adapt and develop this new, highly valued professional competence. Subtitlers aren't just translating from scratch anymore. They are editors, they are cultural adapters, and they are essentially language quality controllers. And that leaves us with one final, totally provocative question to ponder. As these algorithms get faster and the data sets get larger, will AI ever truly understand human culture? Or will the subtle nuances of things like sarcasm, grief, joy, and irony always require that human touch to decipher? The next time you turn on the subtitles, pay close attention to the words on your screen. You might just be witnessing this really intricate dance between machine efficiency and human emotion. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.